Mallory, I know you're disappointed. I'm sorry today isn't going like you wanted it to.
Mom is right. Today isn't going like I wanted it to. Today is Saturday, but it should be called Saturday. Today is a whole lot sadder than I thought it would be. Today is the day I was supposed to be enjoying a cake of the week with my friends and family. Right now, my mouth should be filled with the taste of chocolate cake and fudge frosting, but right now, my mouth is empty.
Don't look so glum,
says Dad. He walks into the den and hands me an envelope with my name on it.
The postman paid you a visit.
I take my envelope, walk into the kitchen, and sit down at the table. I didn't get a cake of the week, but at least I get a letter from my best friend. Dear Mallory, happy birth month! Are you having the best birth month ever? I bet you are. I have some very happy birth month news that I know you will like hearing. I'm coming to visit. Did your mom tell you yet? My mom said we can come for your whole birth weekend. I figure there must be such a thing as a birth weekend, since there is such a thing as a birth month. I wanted to come for the whole month. Mom said no to that, but she did say I will be there for your skating party. I am so excited. I don't think it matters that you're not having a surprise party. Skating parties are fun too. See you soon. Hugs and kisses, Marianne. P.S. How was your cake of the week? I want to hear about it down to the very last sprinkle. P.P.S. I hope you took pictures when you blew out your candles. When I come visit, we can make a birth month scrapbook. P.P.P.S. Tell your mom that 9 is old to get your ears pierced. I got mine pierced when I was 8, remember? Maybe you should try asking your mom in a different way. I just know she'll say yes. I reread the letter from Marianne. Then I take a sheet of paper from Mom's desk and start writing. Dear Marianne, I have some bad news. My birth month isn't going like I had planned. It's a long, sad story, but since you're my best friend, I'll tell it to you anyway. I didn't get a cake of the week because Mom didn't bake a cake of the week because she has the flu. Even if she had baked it, no one would have come to eat it because Joey had other plans and Pamela had violin lessons and Max and Winnie both said it was dumb. Since I didn't have a cake, I don't have any pictures to put in my birth month scrapbook. I hope this story did not make you too sad. I am counting the days and minutes and seconds until you get here. Mallory. P.S. Mom hasn't said yes to getting my ears pierced yet, but I think she will. See plan below for how I'm going to ask her. Operation Earrings.
Mallory, what are you doing?
Helping because you are sick.
You're the world's best daughter.
Now can I get my ears pierced?
Of course.
I finish my letter to Mary Ann, fold it, and stick it in the envelope. The first week of my birth month wasn't so great. I try not to think about what didn't happen and instead think about all the good things that are going to happen. I think about the cake of the week I'm going to have next week. I think about the class party I'm going to have the week after that. I think about Mary Ann coming to visit. Then I think about how much fun it will be to have pierced ears. I reach up and feel the soft, floppy part of my earlobes. Tonight, I will put Operation Earrings into action. Tomorrow, there will be holes where today there were none. The whole story. Good morning, class, says Mrs. Daly. How was everyone's weekend? Room 310 fills up with goods and greats and supers and terrifics. There are even a few amazings, but I'm quiet. I wouldn't describe the first weekend of my birth month as good or great or super or terrific, and definitely not amazing.
What did everyone do?
Asks Mrs. Daly.
I went ice skating,
says Joey. Me too, says Pete. I took a violin lesson, calls out Pamela. We went shopping, says Danielle. Shoe shopping, says Ariel. Both girls stick their feet in the air to show the class their matching sneakers. Mrs. Daly smiles at Danielle and Ariel's feet. Then she smiles at me.
Mallory, what did you do this weekend?
All I can think about is what I didn't do. Nothing, I mumble. Well, I'm sure you did something, says Mrs. Daly. She picks up a piece of chalk and writes what I did this weekend on the chalkboard. Class, this morning I'd like you all to write a one-page essay on what you did this weekend. Use details about what happened to make the reader feel like they were there with you. Everyone takes out paper and pencils, but not me. I don't get out anything to write with because I don't have anything to write about. Mrs. Daly comes over to my desk. Having trouble getting started? I nod. Think for a minute, says Mrs. Daly. You'll come up with something. I know what Mallory can write about, says Pamela. She's turning 9 soon. She can write about what she did this weekend to celebrate her birthday. Pamela winks at me like she knows what I did this weekend. But what Pamela doesn't know is that I didn't do anything. Mrs. Daly clears her throat. Mallory, what do you think of that idea? I think about my weekend. I didn't get a cake. I tried to talk to Mom about getting my ears pierced, but that didn't work either. Mrs. Daly, would it be okay if I write about what I didn't do this weekend? Mrs. Daly says if that's what I remember about my weekend, then I can certainly write about it. I take out a sheet of paper and begin. The Whole Story by Mallory MacDonald. Author's note. You will need tissues when you read this story. It is very sad. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who was about to turn 9. All she wanted for her birthday were 2 little holes, one in each ear. So one weekend, she asked her mother if she could get these 2 little holes. Her mother said, no, you may not have 2 little holes, one in each ear, until you turn 12. So the little girl did what any other little girl who was about to turn 9 and wanted something really, really, really badly would do. She begged and pleaded with her mother. Her mother still said no. So then, the little girl scrubbed the floor. That was how she spent her weekend, scrubbing the floor. She hoped this would get her mother to change her mind. But guess what? It didn't work. Her mother still said no. This was mean and cruel of her mother, don't you think? So the little girl offered to pay for the holes in her ears with her very own allowance money and eat spinach if her mother would just let her get those 2 tiny little holes. But her mother still said no. The little girl was starting to think things were hopeless, but she didn't give up. She told her mother that the only thing she would need to make her birth month, which hadn't been so great so far, extra special, would be those 2 little holes. You won't believe what happened next. You will never, ever guess. Her mother still said no. And, to top it off, she sent the girl to her room for not listening the first time. When that happened, a tear ran down the girl's cheek. She had no choice but to wipe it away and move on with her life. The moral of the story is that mothers should not say no to their children because it makes them very sad. The end. When I finish my story, I look at my desk mate. Pamela is still busy writing. I put my head down on my desk. I knew my birth month wasn't going so well, but I didn't realize how bad it was until now. I close my eyes and do what I do when I want something to happen and I'm not sure it's going to. I pretend like I'm at the wish pond on my street and I make a wish. I wish that the second week of my birth month will be better than the first week. I try to draw a picture in my brain of the cookie cake with rainbow writing that I want for my second cake of the week. When I know exactly what it looks like, I pretend to throw a wish pebble in the wish pond. I sure hope my wish comes true.
On the next slide, you are going to infer, how do you think Mallory's birthday is going to continue going? Do you think it's going to turn around and start going well for her? Do you think that she planned too much and that she just had her expectations were way too high? So you're again going to make an inference or a prediction. How do you think the rest of her birth month will go?